And we're live here on YouTube / the No DeCamp show. Um, this is our second episode as the No DeCamp show. Sorry we didn't go live yesterday. Had a ton of homework for this one project. So I spent 14 hours on my laptop between my one big cluster of classes that I have to take together, plus my one class that's at 12 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And between that, I also spent, um, I don't know, probably good 6 hours on the homework for the cluster class. As you can tell, this is the second episode of the No DeCamp show. Monday, I rebranded it since Justin is now a part timer. He will join whenever he feels like it. He's not officially part of the show anymore. So that started on Monday. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays are going to be more likely the days we will go live right now until we get through the semester more. And we'll just see how everything goes. Trying to think. I'm going to look at the conferences for the ACC, or not ACC, AAC, the American. See if their schedules changed at all. If they didn't, I'm going to just keep it as it was. The show or the episode that we did with Justin will stay up as the predictions. So, but we're going to start off with the NFL, and then we're going to work into our big topic of the day, the WWE, what they're doing with one of their fans from this weekend. It's pay-per-view that came out after we went off the air Monday. So Cardinals are going to give two-time Pro Bowler Bovda Baker a 4-year, $59 million extension. He's going to become the highest paid safety in NFL history. Bill Belichick's sons are also becoming the most looked at assistants as they've grown up around this Patriot way and learned it, and now they're coaching in it. His sons, Steve and Brian Belichick, they're assistant coaches in the Patriots organization. I wouldn't be surprised if after Bill Belichick retired, his sons eventually took over. Trying to think if I could think. I don't think there's anything else to talk about that. Yesterday, the Detroit Lions canceled their practice to protest the shooting of Jacob Blake by the police in Wisconsin. This is really good, I think. And they were one of teams that were going to do stuff. The NBA will be talking about an NBA team. Haven't heard many other teams in the NFL doing anything, but it's good to see that a team in the NFL is actually doing something to stick up for this. And, just show support for the family and say, we don't want this happening. So the Panthers today announced they were going to sign wide receiver Cam Phillips. He led the XFL wideouts in catches, yards, and touchdowns before the league shut down due to the COVID-19 and bankruptcy. Obviously, that means he will not be returning to the XFL when it does start back up under the control of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and his ownership group. Now that who owns it? Obviously, the XFL will probably take a little bit longer to probably start back up. I don't think it'll be back this spring. Maybe next year or a year from this coming spring in 2022. I could see it probably starting back up. Give it some time. Get the teams they need. Obviously, they own the names that were in it. So we don't know if those owners will come back or not. Obviously, you got to see. And, obviously we'll be looking towards that coming up. Hopefully we'll hear from The Rock and his ownership group and everything. We're going to move to the NCAA. There hasn't been too much since Monday out of the NCAA. But many All-Americans are sitting out. The Associated Press preseason list for the All-Americans for football included 23 players who are not going to be playing this fall, whether they announced they were going to sit out this season or they were going to be, or their teams aren't going to be playing this year due to their conferences not playing or their team not playing overall. It's interesting because of the fact that now they're not going to be playing, but still they're named to the All-Americans list. It's still a great honor. Maybe that will help them if they're really good players and draft eligible to be counted to, they were an preseason All-American. Even if they do play in the spring, their team does, but maybe they decide to sit out and get ready for the draft. They get into this, draft and still get drafted. And our final bit of news out of the NCAA, a group of basketball coaches are wanting their colleges to turn their arenas, stadiums into voting centers on election day. This is really a good idea, and I'm glad that coaches are stepping up and saying that they want this to happen because they're wanting to promote the spreading out and social distancing, but they also want to help promote people coming out and being able to vote on election day and trying to get people to come out and everything. It's really good, I think. Obviously, it's a political statement, but it's also not because they want to help also with people getting out during the pandemic and everything. So it's really good to see that. Now we're going to move on to the MLB part of our stories today. We don't have any NHL news to report, by the way. So we're not going to have any NHL news today. The National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum votes unanimously to reschedule this winter's 2 era committee elections. So we won't see the special elections that obviously are held for the different people that play in certain eras that would normally get voted into the Hall of Fames. That would be post-voted after the normal Hall of Fame induction or normal Hall of Fame voting. So it's going to be interesting to see when they do vote. Albert Pujols made more history as he continues to make more history in his career. He becomes second on the RBI list, passing Alex Rodriguez, who had 2,086. Pujols is now second all-time on the RBI list, with having a single. Basically, he hit a single and scored a run. The way that ESPN worded that is kind of hard to say. That happened Monday night. And then the Indians pitcher Mike Clevinger will officially make his return back to the team and back into the rotation, and he's going to pitch tonight, actually, against the Twins in the series finale. He's been cleared and everything. So that's good that he, you know, never got it, but hopefully he learned his lesson and everything. So that way he doesn't go out and everything like he did before and doesn't put his team at risk. And hopefully he's learned from seeing what's happened throughout the league since he's even been off the team away in quarantine. Seeing what's happened with like the Reds and the Cardinals and other teams that have had scares and some people getting it. But, we're just hoping that he actually learned his lesson, though. And then last night, also, White Sox pitcher Lucas Giolito blanked the Pirates for the first no-hitter of the 2020 MLB season. A lot of people were not thinking that this would actually happen this season, with it only being a shorter season. And a lot of pitchers, would be rotated out. But there are a lot of pitchers actually going the distance now a lot more. He only had one walked pitch, or not. I think he had a walked pitcher or batter, not pitcher. So that was the only way he didn't have a perfect game. But he is the 13th player in the team's history to pitch a no-hitter. So we're going to move on to the UFC real quick, where the Contender Series was last night on ESPN, and there was 4 more contracts earned last night for the UFC. Jamie Pickett will be a member of the promotion after winning in 3rd appearance on Contender Series. So that's a little quick UFC note. Now we're going to move on to the NBA, the WNBA news. LeBron James on Monday night joined Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the sole player with consecutive 30-point games in playoffs in 17th season or later. Obviously, this is good for Laker fans, as I am one. But it's also very cool to see that LeBron can still bring it. As at that age, obviously he looks like he's getting back into it. I don't know if maybe he's actually turned off his social media and everything. And maybe he's just talking to his family in a different way and not watching them on social media. So hopefully maybe he's turned into playoff LeBron back the way he normally does. But it's also cool that he's making history in this way. Obviously, the Lakers have blown out the Trailblazers in games 2, 3, and 4, and looking for the series win in game 5. So the Raptors are mulled game 1 boycott. The team discussed a variety of ways to respond to the police shooting of Jacob Blake, including not playing Thursday's game versus Boston. This was the other team I was talking about, and I think they should play still, but maybe they should just honor him in a different way, maybe something on their jerseys or before the game. I don't think they should just not play, because we do need to eventually just get this postseason done. That way we can get a champion crown for the NBA and get everything over with. That way they can get ready for the next season, because they're already probably going to have to push back free agency and the actual draft, and then they're going to have to push back camps and the season starting. They're already talking about pushing the season into maybe past Christmas, possibly. At least it will be starting in December, and you might see some of the earlier, like beginning of the season games, start showing up on Christmas now. Um, Unlike how they're in the middle of the season almost, where they're a good way in. Okay. And then Damian Lillard yesterday was announced that his right knee sprained and his right knee is sprained, and he is out for Game 5 against the Lakers. Hopefully he does get better and everything. Today the Pacers announced that they were gonna fired their head coach Nate McMillan after the team was swept in the first round of the playoffs. Not surprised. I'm surprised and not surprised, but I mean, I would have thought they would have kept him around after this only being, I believe, his first season as the head coach and making the playoffs. I wouldn't have fired him if I was with the Pacers. I know they got swept, but they had the long time off, and then they came back, and it's just not, I don't think, the best idea. Kareem's son, Adam Abdul-Jabbar, was charged with stabbing neighbor with hunting knife during argument over trash cans yesterday. So not a good look for his Kareem's son, but hopefully everything goes good and that whole situation gets sorted out. But we're going to end on some good news out of the NBA. Giannis was named Defensive Player of the Year for the 2019-2020 season. The award was given to him in a landslide. Anthony Davis was finished second. So, okay. Barcelona on Tuesday announced that Messi is going to leave this summer after they're done. And finally, our top story: WWE is working on banning virtual fan. The organization is looking to bar fan whose KKK video streamed on air during Monday Night Raw programming. It's a very serious thing. Obviously, the WWE has had some problems in the past with some of their things they have done. Some of their things haven't, been the best in their image. But obviously, they're trying to correct that as they've gone forward with giving the women more time on TV and making it better. Obviously, this KKK thing is not the best, and hopefully they can, figure it out and sort it out. But I think that is it for us today, I think. Yep, we do not have any just in stuff. So we are going to wrap things up today. Let's see. If you're looking for any video games, I just got PGA Tour 2K21 over the weekend. It's fun. It's good. Also coming out next Friday is NBA 2K 21. And then I believe this Friday is the official release of Madden, I believe. So, yeah, the golf game came out over the weekend. This weekend's Madden. Next weekend's NBA 2K. So, there are games coming out. And, just hope everyone has a good, safe rest of the week. I will most likely see you Friday. Because if I don't have enough stories to go live on tomorrow, or if I am still really busy tomorrow with school, I won't go live until Friday. It won't be early afternoon. It'll probably be more late afternoon, early evening. I have a doctor's appointment in the morning at 11, so I will see you guys later. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell, and go to our Instagram and follow us there. Until next time, see you later.